Welcome to Red Hills, where passion is as bright as the morning sunrise. This Wisconsin town's slogan is as true as the sky is blue. And here begins a story to prove it. A story of dreams pursued, challenges tested, and friendships strengthened. Every story starts somewhere, and some start quite unexpectedly. The story of three little girls' journey to fulfill their newly discovered dreams started one night at a sleepover. Sounds of futuristic warfare and yelling could be heard from the living room TV, even throughout the halls and the kitchen amidst crackling popcorn in the microwave. Standing by impatiently was 9-year-old Arlene Evergreen, an excitable girl with fair skin, dark brown eyes, upturned nose, and waist-long jet-black hair. Standing forward, too, she wore a midnight purple dress that reached halfway down her white legging-wearing calves that shuffled around with the frantic tapping of her black Mary Jane shoes.
About time!
The beep indicated that the popcorn was done, and Arlene reached right into the microwave door without thinking about how piping hot the bag would be. Until...
Ow!
She set the bag on the counter for a few seconds to blow on her half-burned hands. While fidgeting and frantically searching for oven mitts, she read the microwave's clock. 9:09.
No time to wait!
Arlene once again grabbed the hot bag bare-handed and ran straight to her living room couch while juggling it. There, she quickly sat down in between her best friends, a blonde and a redhead the same age as her. The blonde to the left was Darcy Van Doren, same height as Arlene, give or take a couple of inches. She had baby blue eyes, a narrow, protruding nose, and hair that reached a little bit past her chin. Her choice of wear was a charcoal skull cap, white t-shirt with blue denim shorts, and gray suede clogs. She had a relaxed demeanor that showed through her signature resting chick face. On the right was Marcia Flanagan, who was noticeably taller than the other two, even sitting down. She had light brown eyes, pasty freckled skin, bulbous nose, and big curly hair that she kept pulled back behind her head. Her extra padding showed through her salmon pink shirt and white skirt that barely dropped past her knees. She also wore comfortable black sneakers with white socks. The girls all sat together watching a marathon of their favorite show, a science fiction adventure anime called Cosmic Squadron Vexen. Darcy and Marcia both helped themselves to the bag of popcorn by pouring it into their bowls, leaving a couple of handfuls in the bag.
About time with that second round of popcorn.
You missed a lot of action waiting in the kitchen.
Well, rewind it then.
Can't. We all agreed on not doing that, remember? Gonna waste our precious time.
And your mom and dad won't let us stay up past 10.
I know. Fine, I'll just watch it later since I'm recording these.
Before she knew it, Arlene looked at the TV to see a commercial block. She reached for the now cooled-down bag of popcorn and became even more disgruntled when she barely felt any left in there. With the show on break, Arlene took the time to glance at her two best friends, noticing a distant stare in Darcy's eyes.
We could rewatch the whole thing in my room when we get sent to bed. As long as we keep my computer volume low enough,
I don't want to lose sleep over this. It's fine.
Noticing that Arlene was rudely interrupted, Marcia pitched in while staring across the couch at the blonde.
Well, instead we can huddle around and talk about something else. Something important.
Oh, you mean like how close I am to freaking backhanding?
Darcy's frustration was starting to show, so she stopped herself before saying something she might regret.
Sorry, Marsh.
No apology needed. Let's just enjoy the time we have together.
There was actually a special reason that the girls were having a sleepover at Arlene's. The Van Doran family was having financial troubles and bills that needed to be paid. They were looking at the possibility of having to move out of the neighborhood and to the neighboring town of Blue Hills, which was quite far away. With that, Darcy had to come to terms with switching schools and not being able to hang out with Arlene and Marcia ever again. That realization nearly angered her to bursting, so she dodged that subject and attempted to drown out her sorrows with television, popcorn, and a 12-pack of Provo Cola with her friends. That, however, didn't change her situation.
If only my folks could just move away and leave me with one of you guys. That'd be 2 problems solved right there.
I wish. You'd be a much cooler sister than my real one.
My sister has a summer cabin out in Blue Hills, so at least you'd have a piece of me close by.
Both Arlene and Marcia were close to tears, but Darcy seemed to feel at least a little better. Before long, all 3 girls turned their attention back to the TV, commercials still running. It wasn't long after that one advertisement caught Arlene's attention. A blonde girl about the same age as Arlene and her friends popped up on the screen with a big smile on her face. She had the typical camper girl's look, a green beret, yellow shirt, and a pleated green skirt, complete with a green, badge-covered sash around her. The girl on TV started to speak as clear and loud as if she were really right in front of them.
Would you like a box of cookies?
I sure would.
The commercial featured the girl selling cookies to a grown woman with black hair and a light blue sundress. Immediately afterwards, an inspirational soundtrack started building up as the scene changed to the same girl writing on a piece of paper. There appeared 2 new girls wearing the same uniform. One had black hair and a focused expression as she looked at a stack of cookie boxes. The other was a brunette with what looked like an opened cash box in front of her. Then, a woman's narrative voice spoke in the background.
Cooperation.
The sound of the voice, along with the visual of the 3 girls in uniform, had Arlene and Marcia invested in the commercial. Darcy was just blankly staring at the screen, paying as much attention as she did any other TV ad. The commercial continued, with the same 3 girls picking up cans, papers, and other kinds of recyclable litter and putting them into appropriate bins. The scene ended with the brunette carrying a black bag for non-recyclables.
Volunteering.
Next, the 3 girls were seen in a forest setting. All 3 were crouched down looking at the ground. A silkworm was then seen crawling around on a plant leaf. Then, they were all seen walking down a dirt trail with a beautiful woodland landscape into view. Darcy slightly leaned forward, showing a sign of interest in this part of the commercial.
Adventure.
After that, the narrator herself came into view, along with her name and occupation on the top left of the screen. Opal Weatherford, Peapod Scouts Foundation, Head of Communications. Taking up the right of the screen was a hazelnut-skinned woman with shoulder-long dark brown hair. She wore a cornflower blue business professional jacket and skirt with heels to match, along with a white shirt and indigo tie. Opal spoke with an assuring tone with confident posturing, intriguing Arlene and her friends.
As a member of the Peapod Scouts, you'll get to engage in all of these things and much more.
Immediately after that sentence, Opal's upper body took up more of the screen. The viewer could see that she had amber eyes and visible cheekbones. She looked to be in her mid to late 30s.
Our mission is to prepare little girls for real-world challenges and set them on a course to becoming responsible and successful, leading women of the future.
Stacks of the same boxes of cookies as before could be seen along with smaller bags with the same logo and name, Peapod Scout Cookies.
Selling boxes of our brand of cookies to the neighborhood will give them a taste of the business world and teach them about commerce on a smaller scale.
A visual of a forest campsite was put on screen. 4 to 5 Peapod Scouts can be seen interacting with one another and playing around. They looked like they were having good outdoor fun.
Spending time in the wilderness will expose them to environmental discovery and teach them how to survive and thrive in the natural world.
Zoomed-in rows of merit badges are seen scrolling by on the screen. After 10 seconds, the same blonde girl from before was seen holding up her sash full of badges. Lots of adults and kids were seen alongside her.
Earning merit badges will get them involved with the community and teach them the importance of problem solving and helping others.
Then appeared a visual of a yellow flag with an upward-facing green crescent and 3 circles atop it. The flag was seen waving in the wind for a few seconds before the video came out of focus, making way for words in bold green reading, "Peapod Scouts, leading women to be."
Don't miss out on this opportunity. Register now and start your journey to reach greater heights.
With those words, the advertisement finally ended and transitioned to a commercial for Zesty Wavy's potato chips. The girls took a moment to take in everything they just saw.
Well, that was the longest commercial I've ever had to sit through.
Yeah, a subliminal hunger trap too. And it's working. I really want some of their cookies now.
Psh, they're as overpriced as they are overrated.
Marcia turned and glared at Darcy for her comment. Arlene joined the conversation.
I don't think you'd be saying that if you really tried them. They put the store-bought stuff to shame.
Yeah, easily. Even Snack Kid has trouble finding better sweets.
Listen to you two. You love Peapod Scout cookies so much, why don't you go work for them?
Just then, Arlene had a brilliant idea.
Yeah, that's exactly what we should do.
What?
We?
We, all 3 of us, joining Peapod Scouts. That's the answer to our problems.
Darcy and Marcia were completely lost as to where Arlene was getting at.
I'm not following you.
What exactly does this have to do with me moving away?
This whole thing reminded me of something. Back before I was born, my dad was job hunting and had trouble paying bills too. When Arlene joined Peapod Scouts, the foundation helped keep our lights on for a while.
Darcy held in stifled laughter while hearing Arlene's explanation.
Hold on. Your sister was out here selling cookies in uniform?
Yeah, and that's not all. She hated having to join Scouts, but she went through with it to help my mom and dad.
Your sister did something selfless?
This time, Arlene struggled to hold in her laughter.
That had to be at least a decade ago. How do you know they still even do that anymore?
Let's ask Bogler.
Marcia took out her smartphone and opened up a webpage with a multicolored logo reading Bogler as its header. In the search bar, she typed in, "Does Peapod Scouts pay household bills?" and clicked on the first link that appeared in the list. A section of the Peapod Scouts official website popped up. Marcia studied her screen, with Arlene and Darcy leaning in closely next to her. Within seconds, Marcia found the answer she was looking for and started reading.
Yes! It's called the Libra Program. Low-income bill and rent aid. Those who join the Peapod Scouts are eligible to have payment assistance applied to their households.
Hearing that, Arlene became giddy and hugged both her friends. A smile grew on Darcy's face after hearing the good news.
You hear that, Darcy? You join, you're in the clear, and you'd stay right here.
Guess that's it then. I gotta wear a green beret and matching sash.
We all gotta wear it, 'cause we're all joining together.
We're all gonna have to. The Peapod Scouts uses the 3-buddy system.
And I'd rather be doing this with you two than a couple of randos anyway.
The 3 friends laughed with one another as they continued looking through the website. At that point, they were no longer paying any attention to the Cosmic Squadron Vexen Marathon. Their main interest at the moment was signing up for Peapod Scouts. However, they ran into a couple of issues after scrolling to find the registration page.
Hold on. $100 just to sign up?
And we clearly need our parents' permission because they only take card transactions.
Well, there's no way my dad's gonna cough that up just to send me to summer camp.
After reading the registration fee and credit card inquiries, the girls seemed stuck as they thought about whether or not their parents would pay it. Darcy wasn't as hopeful of being convincing, and Marcia was leaning the same way. Arlene, however, retained her optimism and came up with yet another plan.
We'll just have to tell our parents about all the stuff Opal said about learning and helping the community.
Oh, that's good. My mom's always trying to get me to learn new things.
We could do one better and show our folks the commercial so Opal could work her sweet-talking magic herself.
Even better. I already have it recorded here. DVR!
They all turned their attention to the TV, showing their favorite program. It was quite a suspenseful scene with the main character. Ultraviolet, surrounded by her teammates Stardust and Codex. All three had matching tattered uniforms and were staring across the scene at a small crowd of villagers amongst their half-destroyed home.
I know everything looks bleak and hopeless. It's times like this where we need to hold on to it, most of all, to keep pushing back against everything coming at us. If it even gives us the slightest chance to make things all better, it's already better than giving in.
Arlene leaned closer to the screen, recognizing what was happening. This was one of the more inspiring moments of Cosmic Squadron Vexen, one of Violet's character-defining reassurance speeches.
That's because surrendering gives us no chance of saving our loved ones.
Darcy and Marcia then focused on the scene while Arlene started lip-syncing with Violet's speech.
No chance of stopping the invasion.
At this point in the scene, Arlene couldn't help but speak along with Violet.
And no chance of taking down the Hex once and for all.
Arlene's shrill imitation broke the silence between her friends, who burst into laughter. The girls' enjoyment in the on-screen cheering and war cries was followed by a stern call-out from upstairs, loud enough to make the room go silent yet again.
Girls, turn off that TV now! It's past your bedtime!
Okay, Dad. Sorry.
Arlene's dad was right on target. Marcia looked at her phone screen and saw the clock already reading 10:01. Apparently, time flew by when they were having fun thinking about Peapod Scouts. The girls spent another few minutes past bedtime cleaning up empty cola cans and popcorn crumbs.
You think you could sweet-talk your folks into letting us stay up another hour?
No chance of that happening. Let's save all the sweet talk for tomorrow and trying to join Scouts.
Once the living room was tidied up, Arlene and her friends went upstairs where they took turns using the bathroom to brush their teeth and change into their pajamas. Arlene wore a light pink nightshirt and matching sleeping hat that hung past her head. Darcy threw on a gray tank top and beige loose-fitting jogging pants, while Marcia was outfitted with a snug white pajama set and a pink bonnet. After each was finished changing, they went to Arlene's room, where all their sleeping gear was made ready. The guests laid in sleeping bags on the floor across Arlene's bed. Within 10 minutes, Darcy and Marcia nearly drifted to sleep. But Arlene was still as wide awake as ever. She laid there, unable to sleep, because of a single question lingering in her mind.
Girls? What do you want to be when you grow up?
Hearing that out of nowhere caused Darcy and Marcia to wake up and sit up from their sleeping bags before facing Arlene with puzzled looks.
Where'd that come from?
Yeah, who are you, Mr. Weston?
Don't even go there. I'm being serious.
So are we. I am, at least. What made you ask that right now?
It was a question I saw in the registration. I can't stop thinking about it. I thought we should think of an answer now so we know what to fill in later.
All three girls took a moment to come together and brainstorm future career choices. Darcy pitched hers first.
I think I want to be a shore lounger on the beaches of Miami.
I don't think that's a real job. And I doubt it'll help your chances of joining Scouts.
Why would a career choice even matter? We're not even in high school yet.
Beats me, but there's gotta be some reason they'd ask for it.
Well, besides rock star or drifter, I got nothing.
I'd love to make a living as a writer.
You could do that right now. You've always been good at writing essays.
Yeah, but I don't see what that's got to do with summer camp.
Same here, but it's something.
At least you two have something.
While Darcy spent her time throwing ideas around and with Marcia making up her mind, Arlene hadn't the slightest idea of what she'd go for as a career. But her friends sure did.
So do you. All over this room.
Yeah, you'd make an awesome artist.
With the help of Marcia's flashlight, the girls took a look around Arlene's room and studied the many drawings that lined the walls. A lot of them were marker-drawn versions of the girls themselves.
Kids all over our class wanted you to draw stuff for them.
And some paid you for it.
Now that you mention it, those drawings did make me pretty popular.
No kidding. Everyone loved your work.
Not everyone.
The spotlight hovered and stopped over a crumpled drawing of a brunette mermaid blowing bubbles. This one triggered a specific memory worth looking back on.
Remember when Caesar sat behind me?
Wasn't he that Brazilian kid who threw things at your hair?
That's the one. And you already know I draw the line at anyone messing with me and my current curls.
I know that was the last day you put up with him, and the day we took action.
I heard him shooting spitballs at the back of Marcia's head, so I snuck over there with a surprise.
Yeah, that same drawing I shouldn't have left on my desk for you to crumple into a ball.
And after I noticed Darcy, I turned around and gave Caesar a piece of my mind. He was distracted enough for her to shove that thing in the back of his undies.
Then I gave him a mean paper cut wedgie that made him scream.
The whole class saw us in the act. Arlene made sure to have the last word.
Next time you throw stuff at my friend's hair, we'll throw you in a trash can, head first.
The girls burst out laughing at each other while strolling down memory lane. They quickly hushed up, not wanting to risk waking up Arlene's parents.
I still can't believe Mr. Weston gave all three of us detention.
I've never had detention in my life.
I meant me, Darcy, and Caesar, which was stupid since I didn't even do anything.
Yeah, except you kinda threatened him at the end.
It sure worked its magic. He stayed more than an arm's length away from us ever since.
And we got the celebrity treatment from just about everyone else in class. They couldn't get enough of us for weeks.
Taking down the class bully has that effect on you.
The three girls once again shared laughs over good memories. They were so deep into reminiscing that they forgot the original topic of conversation.
What were we supposed to be talking about before?
Going to sleep, maybe?
First, I got one last question. Why'd you keep that after it's been stuffed grease deep into kids' underwear?
I spent like an hour making it, so I'm sure as the heck's not just gonna throw it away.
Seems legit to me.
With that being said, Darcy instantly laid back down, followed by Marcia and Arlene. Not even 5 minutes later, Darcy and Marcia dozed off into slumber, while Arlene still laid awake. She couldn't help but keep staring at a couple of drawings on the wall hit by a sliver of moonlight from her curtains. Both drawings were of the three girls, one with them making silly faces and one with them sitting against a tree. Just as before, the same question she mentioned still lingered in her mind. though it seemed that she had an answer this time around.
I think when I grow up, I want to be an influencer.
As Arlene laid in bed alone with her thoughts, she heard Darcy and Marcia snoring amidst the silence. She didn't want to even think of how things would be if they were separated, having to talk each of their parents into paying the Peapod Scout registration fee was going to be more difficult than standing up to a third-grade bully. But Arlene was up to the task all the same. If joining was the only way to keep her with her two best friends, she was ready to do whatever it took for all of them to get those yellow and green uniforms. On that note, Arlene finally fell asleep with newly discovered dreams.